All right, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to the Monday, September 13th edition of the MMAOB Daily Podcast. I'm your host, as always, Adam Martin. It's the birthday edition of the MMAOB Daily Show, Marcel. I appreciate it, guys. I had a lot of people reach out, obviously. Thank you so much. Marcel, you too, man. But yeah, it's cool. You know, first birthday as a dad, Marcel, 33 now, so another year in the books, man. But I appreciate it, Marcel, and everyone else who reached out. Thanks so much, guys. Obviously, we didn't have a UFC event this weekend, Marcel, but we did have a boxing card, so I want to talk about that with you, and maybe some other stuff that's grinding your gears. But we're not going to go full hour today, guys. Do like half an hour probably. So Marcel, go ahead.
Before we start the show,
there you go. Yep. No, it feels good, man. Thank you so much, Marcel. No, it was good. I went to the keg, which was awesome, and got some presents and stuff. Did some cake with the family, so it was good. And my bowling league starts tonight. I haven't bowled in a year because it was closed down, right, because of COVID. So start that again, which is nice too. Anyways, let's get into it, Marcel. Let's talk a little bit about this. I don't even know what we want to call this. It's kind of like a freak show kind of thing, if anything. We had the boxing card, Marcel, and we called it. We'll start with Vitor, Belfort, and Evander Holyfield. I remember I told you last week, I'm like, man, I want to put my whole paycheck on this. I probably should have. I didn't end up doing it, but I should have, because that was a joke. I mean, the guy 58. I can't believe the line was. It ended up being Vitor as the favorite at the end, Marcel. But there was a point where he was the underdog, like we talked about. Marcel really wasn't a fight. It was an old man getting beat up on it. This guy shouldn't have been cleared to fight at 58. You know, he's a legend of the sport. But give me your thoughts on this. We'll talk about the other fight. But what were your thoughts on that fight?
Yeah, and also we only knew for like 3 days before that it was an exhibition fight, right?
Yeah.
So
yeah, that's the sketchy thing. It's kind of sketchy, like, you know, it wasn't really like promoted. They just kind of promoted the fight. I didn't even know that until I think the day of. I was like, oh, it's exhibition. What the hell? But you know, anyways, it was a finish. I mean, last year they did Tyson and Roy Jones Jr. That fight just went to a draw. You know, at least we got a finish in this fight, I guess. But I mean, Marcel, like, I know you don't want to talk about it because you really hate it talking about Jake Paul, but yeah, in boxing. But I know you don't. I know you like respect boxing. Jake Paul, Vitor Belfort called him out. You think it happens? Vitor Belfort, Jake Paul?
I have no idea. Doesn't Jake Paul has a deal with Showtime? So I don't know if this happens in Triller. So
yeah, I don't know if I like the Showtime better. You know, I like that card better. The Jake Paul card, it was a good card. There were good legitimate fights on that card. This card was, you know, like all the Triller cards, kind of a freak show event. You know, I'm not really sure what to think, Marcel. Honestly, like, again, I don't even think this fight should have taken place. But for Vitor, it does kind of give him, like, I guess, a quote unquote name on his resume. Obviously, like one of the greatest boxers ever, even if he's an older guy. Vitor looked good, you know. I don't know if they're drug testing Marcel. I doubt they are. In the Triller Fight Club, I doubt they're drug testing, but you know, he looked good. And like I said, I think he's gonna get a big name. If it's Logan Paul, Jake Paul, I don't know. I don't know, Marcel. Let's talk about the other fight. Tito Ortiz and Anderson Silva. I mean, this fight, again, not a competitive fight. We talked about this as well. This fight was kind of a joke. It didn't even look like Tito's been training. He missed weight. Marcel came in at 200. I called that right on the dot. I said 200. That was my prediction. I called it on the dot, Marcel. He missed weight, and I never thought he'd get underneath 200, guys. Like, that's crazy. I had so many people telling me that, you know, that he was convinced he'd make the weight at age 46, having not made it, Marcel, since he was in college. That's just not going to happen, you know. The fact he got to 200 is pretty impressive. Anderson, I mean, listen, he landed another good punch. I don't know if you saw the fight. Obviously, Marcel, was another classic Anderson, very like technical punch right in the right spot. The first one was on the chin. The second one was on the temple. Tito was out cold. Now people are saying it's fixed. I mean, I tend to think that it was Anderson just landing a good punch on Tito, who's an old guy, and he got knocked out. And Anderson's a great boxer, but any thoughts on that? People were saying about this fight.
Actually, they're kind of funny, man. Tito had him against the ropes, and he was like, "Oh no, I got it." You know, that's really weird. Like that, no punch punches, you know what I mean? There were no power in it. And then I don't know where Anderson was like, okay, I have enough. I slept out of it and I punched him and it was over.
Yeah.
I got another punch against the temple, right, like you said. After that, and it was over, man. So it was a pretty weird fight, but I don't think Tito Ortiz lets himself get knocked out by Anderson Silva, so I don't think it was fixed at all. But it was a legitimate knockout, but Tito just didn't look good, you know. And I had the feeling that Tito had the feeling that he had Anderson Silva in trouble. He didn't have him in trouble at all.
I saw something saying this was an exhibition fight too. I don't know if that's true as well. What the hell, eh? Come on, that's just I don't know what the Triller Fight Club guys like. They obviously put together some big names, but there's a lot of stuff going on with that. Like this fight, like I'm gonna take Cole's. I'll take both comments here. Cole said he showed his dad Anderson Ortiz and Evander Belfort in the morning. His dad said is it in slow mo for Evander's fight. I don't know how that fight was commissioned. I agree, Cole. Ridiculous. And again, Cole, the line was so close. Like I can't believe that. You know, Marcel Anderson was 10-1, and Vitor was like 2-1 and close. I don't know how he wasn't like 10-1 either. Hey Kevin, what's up, man? He says he's proud that he didn't read a single article or watch 1 second the circus last weekend. Feel like I'm the real winner. Yeah, I know for sure. It wasn't. I don't even watch those two fights. Honestly, I didn't watch the other fights.
Literally nothing else to watch, man. So
there was like no sports going on. Yeah, I don't know. I just watched that, but it's not like it was the most exciting card. I would say. Jose, thanks, man. He says happy birthday, and he asked us should Dawson wait or for Ferrer take another fight. That's a good question because the thing is, it's so hard to get ranked opponents. Jose, I'm pretty sure Ferrer is still ranked in the top 15. Like, it's hard to get a ranked opponent. So, like, if he's like, hey, I can fight you later this year, maybe he'll wait for that. But I like Ferrer, but man, he pulls out a lot of fights. That guy's pulled out of a lot of fights, Marcel. You know this because you always do his fight announcements. So there's always a new one because he's always withdrawing from his opponents, getting sick or something. So I don't know. If I'm Dawson, I would look to another opponent. To be honest with you, any thoughts on that, Marcel?
Yeah, probably, man. I guess Dawson wants to keep on the card, so I would say so. Yeah.
Cole said, "I wish we hammered the dog money when we talked about Belfort being the dog." I'm pretty sure the limit was pretty low at that point, Cole, but like it would have still been like I don't know, free 250 or whatever the limit is on it for exhibition fight. I mean, to me, I didn't see Evander having much of a chance in the fight, and it played out that way. Again, guys, it's a combat sports event, and you think about Marcel, it's a 58-year-old man against a guy who's 44, who's in shape, who's training at Sanford MMA. Like, I'm going to take that guy over the guy who's, even though he's a good boxer on paper, hasn't fought in forever. Anyways, and then Tito called out Logan Paul, or I believe, or Jake Paul maybe. Tito just seems like he wants to collect a check at this point, eh? Like, to me, I don't even think he cares if he loses. He's turning into Bob Sapp a little bit, man.
I just want to say a little bit like Bob Sapp. Yeah.
He's turning into Bob Sapp a little bit, guys. Like, Tito doesn't care if he has a loss on his paper. Honestly, he really does it. And if he can make another couple million, I don't know what he made. I'm assuming he made like $1 or $2 million. I have no idea though. For this fight, Marcel, maybe less. I don't know what he's made. Maybe it's less than that. But I think if he thinks he can make easy money just to get knocked out, he'll do it again. He'll get knocked down and just stay on the floor. Because we sort of like he was complaining about his pay when he was the mayor pro tem. He was saying that he only got paid like $1,000 or $2,000 a month, I believe it was. So this is a guy who needs money, and he also started taking the government grants, right? Jamie, just stop by, say hi, happy birthday, Adam. Thanks, Jamie, appreciate it, man. Look at that icon, Marcel. It's your boy Hasbullah. Jose, Gillespie versus RDA October, Darius Islam December were the fights to make. I tend to agree with this. Honestly, I wish that the rankers didn't put Islam above RDA because I don't think he deserved to be above him because he beat Thiago Moises. And it just kind of makes the fight with RDA kind of pointless. Like, that was the point of the fight, to see if he could pass RDA in the rankings, but they put him above him, even though he just beat Thiago Santos, who was ranked 15th. That, to me, Marcel, didn't really make sense, but I'm left scratching my head at a lot of stuff in the rankings. We all know that they're all good fighters, guys. For me, yeah, I kind of agree with you, Jose, honestly. I like those fights better. Go ahead.
I got a question today from somebody, and I didn't have the answer. Do you know why Raquel Pennington was taken out of the UFC bantamweight rankings?
I guess inactivity, right? Like, when was the last time she fought?
She fought in 2020 against Renault. So
Is it over a year ago? I think is it a year? She hasn't fought since June 2020. I thought it was a year, Marcel, but for some fighters, they keep them on there forever. We know that. They play favorites. Like, Cain Velasquez was on there forever. Like, Dominic Cruz is on there forever. Connor's he's still on there. Somehow he hasn't won in forever, but I mean, he's still a draw, obviously. They want to keep a ranking beside him. Anyways. But yeah, Marcel, any thoughts on people saying the fight was fixed? They're stupid, though, eh? Like, that's not true. What do you think?
I don't agree with it. Yeah. So I don't agree with it, but they can say whatever they want, right?
Oh, for sure. All right. The other thing I want to talk about, there wasn't any much MMA, but we did have the Contender Series last week, and we didn't have a chance to talk about the fights, Marcel. Maybe you could talk about that quickly, if you want. So we had Josh Quinlan getting a contract with the UFC with the knockout win over Logan Urban. What do you think about this guy?
He looked good, man. It was a short notice opponent, replacement, and he did a quick finish. So he pretty much did what he had to do there. And although I think Logan Urban is a pretty good fighter, but he is not just there yet. I think Quinlan. I was really looking forward to Quinlan against Weeks, and it's just a good performance by Quinlan. He was done very quick, and it was pretty much a no-brainer to get him a contract, right?
Maybe it's for the best because him and Weeks are both they're both good prospects, right? Maybe Weeks will get someone he can beat too. Now, I'm not gonna say it surprised me that Chidi and Giaquani won, but man, he looked way better than I thought against Mario Souza. Like, completely dominated him in the second and third rounds. Souza kind of gassed out a little bit. This fight was kind of weird. But Chidi looked good, and he got the contract, Marcel, after all these years. I just don't think he needed to be on Contender Series. I just feel like this is Dana kind of keeping his salary low. Like, they're like, okay, you're going to have to fight for 5-5. I think it's 5-5, right? Is it 10-10 now, maybe, on Contender Series? It's not much. It's not much, guys. They should pay these guys more, I think, because, this is a good show. It's basically like UFC light. It should be at least 10-10, I would say, personally. If it might be. But I know it used to be 5-5, but then they stopped disclosing the salaries. We have no idea anymore. Anyways, the guy deserves a UFC contract. He's been a grinder forever. He's been fighting since 2007. That's a long time. We talked about that last week. I don't have a problem with this guy getting the contract. Souza disappointed me, Marcel. I thought he looked terrible, man. For a guy that, he won that last fight last year, didn't get in. Dana White said he wanted to see a more exciting fight. Well, we got a more exciting fight, but it wasn't from his side. Yeah. Now, the other guy, and we talked about this. I told you, this was the closest fight, and I said it was a slight lean towards Simon Oliveira. He defeats Jose Alday by split decision. Super close fight, Marcel. Did you score it? Who'd you score for? Oliveira, Alday?
I think Oliveira 29-28. Although people who scored for Alday would be good as well. I think.
Yeah, it was super close. Yeah, it was one of those really close fights. Like, Alday seems like kind of a gatekeeper-ish kind of type. But Oliveira, I gotta be honest, I'm a little surprised he got the contract because it was a decent fight. Like, Dana White was saying, it was a dog fight. Like, it was a pretty good fight. I'm not gonna lie. He dug deep, but only a split decision. Marcel, like, he didn't really impress.
Dana White turned down fighters for less.
He turned down guys that got finishes. Like, we talked about Austin Vanderford, Chris Curtis, lots of guys. There's a lot of guys in the first couple of years, guys, that they turned down. Anyways, Brendan Lofton obviously won a decision, but yeah, they turned it down. Yeah. We both called this one CJ Vergara, Marcel, big underdog here against Bruno Correa. That line was really crazy considering this guy's power. This guy just stormed across the cage, knocked out Correa. I'm glad he got a contract. He's going to look good. I think they should turn him around quick. That's what I'd like. Like, get him in a card really fast. What do you think?
Yeah, and another cool flyweight to have on your roster, they're still trying to build a flyweight, and this is a good guy, man.
Yeah,
I really like it. Show themselves in Vergara, and Bruno Correa is a good fighter, so it's a good performance as well. Yeah, a good win to have on your name as well.
And then the last fight, or the first fight, it really was, but Chad Hellinger, he picks up the upset win. Marcel, huge underdog, plus 300 underdog against Muin Gafarov, split decision. How did you score this one, Marcel?
I think Moin won 29-28.
That's what I had, but honestly, it was so close, and I have no problem with the Chad scorecards. I have no problem with it. It was super close. I'll say that. You know what I mean, Marcel? I'm kind of glad he won, though, because I think moving. I don't think I don't think he would have been signed. I think Dana would have passed on him because it really wasn't a great performance by him. I don't think he would have signed him. But with Chad, it's like, hey, he had such a big upset, we can sign him. That's my thoughts, Marcel.
Yeah, I mean, I saw many people were like, you should take in consideration that he's underdog and that he is a little bit older already. It's like, but if you take that all in consideration, man, like I said, there have been fighters turned down for less. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now we have like how many weeks? We have 2 weeks in. We have 10 contracts already, man. 9 fights. And the thing is, listen, man, I'm all for guys getting their opportunity, getting a contract, but I had a feeling, man, that the UFC is like, we're getting a many contender series, many 10+10 contracts, and then we're getting rid of the guys we don't really like in the UFC, who are a little bit, how do you say that? Well, for example, 40+40.
Long in the tooth, I guess.
Yeah.
They call it like that. I agree with you. And guys that are making out like guys are like, for instance, like a guy like Jim Miller. He's a great fighter, right? But I think he makes like 100 and 100, right?
Yeah.
I think they'd rather have a guy like his opponent, Nicholas Mata, that makes 12 and 12, Marcel. That's a lot younger, marketable. I'm just saying, like, that guy's a legend, so we'll keep him around. But you know what I mean, Marcel? Like, they're looking to get rid of the more expensive veterans. Let me get some comments here, guys. By the way, he's saying Raquel got suspended from USADA. Is that true? Really?
Oh, that's possible. Maybe that's maybe the reason. Let me check.
Yeah, it was actually. Yeah, you're right. That's true.
Okay. Good call, man.
Jose. Good call, Jose. I forgot about that. Kevin Scott, just like Kimbo Shamrock, people are unaccustomed to old dudes fighting. They believe the natural loss of athleticism is a sign of fight being fixed. It's just, I agree, Kevin. The guy's old, 58. I'm not trying to discredit the guy. He's an amazing boxer, but 58. He's an old man, Marcel. My dad is 58. Like, my dad's, he's a strong guy. Like, you know what I mean, Marcel? Like, he's a fit guy.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think he could take a punch at this point in his life. You know what I mean? Like, the fact that it's almost surprising Evander didn't go down more than once. Brendan Lofton turned down in similar fashion Oliveira. I agree. I mean, it was like the same thing. The guy went for a takedown late. I even tweeted about that. I'm like, oh shit, he went for a takedown. Like, it's so funny. Like, we freak out now if the guy shoots a takedown or so. We're like, oh, yeah. Dana White hates this. Like, but he's been signing those guys now. He says, Jose says, I think the tender series changed. Yeah, everyone gets a contract with low money to cut the veterans on big money. It's true. The UFC won't admit it, but it sure seems like that's kind of the case here, Marcel. Was there any other MMA this weekend? Was there anything else that went on?
ACA, but the thing lately with ACA is that it's very hard to watch because they have a new payment system and you pretty much can't get in it without your phone number, and that doesn't get confirmed and this and kind of that, and you can't watch it. You have to watch it in a legal way. So right. That was there. Omilanchuk was fighting in the main event against Yevgeny Goncharov. He lost. Right. So,
no, fair enough. I'm just looking at the results of it. Yeah, Omilanchuk was in the UFC. I saw him fight in Toronto. He fought this guy, Nander Guamino. Yeah. Remember this guy? I think he only had like 1 or 2 fights, maybe. Mm-hmm. He was kind of a scrub. I mean, he was in the UFC, but all right. What else, man? What else should we talk about? We got a few more minutes here. We'll stay on for a few more minutes. Let me check the news of the day. Let's see here.
Oh yeah. The combatant where everybody's talking about the transgender fighter.
Yeah, we should. I guess we could talk about that. I mean, we're a news show here, sure. I don't know, man. I mean, it's. I've seen the pictures floating around. It's really. I don't know, man. I'm not sure what to say. I don't think I'm against it necessarily because I don't know. I'm like open for everyone, but at the same time, like there's a lot. It's a very complicated issue, I believe, right now in sports in general, because I know it happened at the Olympics too or whatever. Give me your thoughts, Marcel. You probably have a lot more to say about this.
The thing is, people get so sensitive when you say anything about it. So I didn't say anything on Twitter about it. But I just say it here. I don't care. For me, it's like if you have been a man, and you become a woman by being transgender, and you're going into sports. I'm not really for it when you're going into like combat sports or that kind of stuff. You know what I mean? Or weightlifting or I saw, for example, a clip from somebody on YouTube where it was that was like track, what do you say that, with estafette or something with guys and girls, and they wanted to show the difference between a guy and a girl, what's running, and they had like mixed teams, let's say you had a row of 8 people, and that team was one girl and 7 men, and they run at the same time, and you saw the girl was far behind. Then the second part, when they give that the thing you have to give to your second partner, then they had like 7 girls and 1 man, and that 1 man completely overturned it and got into first place. So he how do you say that? He passed all the girls. So for me, it's like, I'm not really into that. I don't really think that's a good thing. I'm not really into. It's difficult to say. I'm not a transphobe or whatever. You can do whatever you want. I don't care. But when it comes to sports, when it comes to combat sports, I'm not really into men becoming women and going into any kind of combat sports, or weightlifting, anything which need strength. That's just my opinion, But I won't go in any Twitter feud on it or whatever. Some people going absolutely crazy. I saw, I'm not going to say his name because some of you guys probably go crazy as well, posting about it on Friday night, I think. And some people already call him a transphobe. Like he said it in a really nice way while we thought about it,
Who, Patty?
Yeah. No.
Oh, who?
No.
Who then? Who?
Alex from Side Press. He was talking about it,
Oh, I didn't even know. I didn't notice.
Yeah, he was talking about it. He said in a very nice way what he thought, and people were attacking him like, you're a transphobe. No, he wasn't. He just said what he thought, And I mean, I talked to like maybe 5 or 6 fighters about it. They're all against it, but they don't want to say anything on the internet, but they're all against it. So,
Oh, fair enough. There's some questions here. One sec. I just wanted to get this before I forget. And you reported it, Marcel. I put your tweet in the article. I don't know if you saw that.
Yeah, I did.
Oh, you did? Good. I mean, this is too bad, guys. But yeah, Sean Gannon passed away. He fought Kimbo Slice in a street fight, and he won the fight. It was actually, I think it was Kimbo's first loss. I remember watching this fight. I think I was either in the end of my end of high school or like early university. Like I was a lot younger, This came out a long time ago, and it was a good fight, man. It was a real hell of a fight, and he got signed to the UFC. Sean Gannon fought Brandley Hinkle. He lost, never got a fight again. And actually, in MMA in general. So 2-2 record in MMA, Marcel, but he passed away. There's really no information about it though. Like there's no age being listed anywhere. Like you don't see the cause of death. Any thoughts, Marcel?
I saw somebody saying on his Facebook page heart attack, but as long as that's not confirmed, I didn't put it out on the tweet,
Yeah, that makes sense, but I don't know. Yeah, I also heard that there's a lot more going on behind the scenes with him too, eh? I'm sure you saw those stories about him, like talking about fellow police officers doing some stuff that they shouldn't have been doing, I believe.
Yes.
So, anyways, we just wanted to show respect to this guy. He did fight once in the UFC, Marcel. Pretty crazy, eh?
Yeah, a very loved guy as well, man. I saw a clip of John Howard, also former UFC fighter, PFL fighter.
Yeah,
who was in tears because of it, And
I mean, he fought in those promotions like Mass Destruction, like that's Massachusetts Destruction. Like Joe Lozon, those guys, they all started there. All those guys from Boston. Sean Gannon's another guy. Marcel. I mean, it's too bad, But yeah, again, I don't know his age. I'm assuming he was like mid to late 50s. Let me get some questions from these guys. I want to get some questions. Jose, any update on TV Ramos? Anything?
I saw he was going to has a grappling match, but I don't know against who anymore.
Okay. Don Madge?
He's not in the UFC anymore. I heard he signed somewhere else.
Really?
Yeah, he signed.
Why? Because he just kept getting hurt and stuff, or what? These issues?
Vice had issues.
That's too bad, man. He had that really sick fight. He had that knockout. I can't remember who. Was it Devontae Smith, or did he was supposed to fight him? Who did he knock out, Marcel?
Yeah, good question.
Let me double check. It was awesome. The Magic Man. It was an amazing review. Tay Edwards. That's the guy. Tay Edwards. I was close. I said Devontae Smith. I mean, the first
RK
name,
upwards, yeah.
both contenders, guys. Knocked him out, and then he beat Ferris Ziam, and then he didn't fight again. What the hell, man?
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's some good wins. Anyways, not sure.
Yeah.
Where did Madge sign? That's where Jose's asking. Where did he sign? Do you know? Can you give us a hint?
Yeah, I know, but I'm not allowed. I have to tell.
You can't say it. He can't say.
So you will
Marcel,
have to
he'll lose his source. Kevin Scott, the transgender thing's fine. The issue with Fallon Fox is that she didn't tell her opponents ahead of time. And actually, Fallon Fox commented on this. I don't know if you saw. She was very supportive of.
Yeah, of course she's supportive of it.
Yeah, no, for sure. That goes without saying. Actually, any update on Guram? Anything? Anything with Kutateladze? I love that last name. Say his name.
No, man. Guram Kutateladze.
Yeah. Is it Ty Pavlovich and Harris Ivanov a good option at heavyweight? I mean, those are good fights. I think Aspinall, he's been calling out Ivanov. That's a good fight. You know, Ivanov's never been knocked out. He has been submitted once, never been knocked by Volkov in Belfort, but he's never been knocked out. And I think Aspinall wants to test his chin, wants to even actually finish this guy. If he could finish, like JDS went 5 rounds with that guy, could not knock him out, Marcel. Ivanov has like a brick head.
Yeah.
That'd be an impressive knockout. You know, and Tom says he doesn't want to be rushed up the ladder. So, I don't know. Any thoughts on that quickly?
I respect it, honestly, man, from Tom. You know, you have those guys who are getting loud mouth and think they're going to be the next big thing. And Tom knows as well. You know, he knows he can be the next big thing, but he just wants to build himself up, and that's okay, man. As long as you fight a legit competition, that's good. So, yeah, Ivanov, he's now ranked above Ivanov, but I still like to fight, man. If they can fight Ivanov somewhere, then that would be a great fight.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm just trying to see what else there's we can talk about really fast. We got a few more minutes here. I don't know. Conor McGregor. I should have mentioned this. He got into it with Machine Gun Kelly. It's so stupid, but I mean, to me, it's definitely like staged. I would say, Marcel. I don't think it's real. I don't think there's beef here. I don't see why there would be beef. I don't think Machine Gun Kelly would want anything from Conor. To be honest with you, like Conor's a professional MMA fighter. You know, I don't know, Marcel. Any thoughts on this quickly?
Machine Gun Kelly really looked at him like, "What the fuck do you want, dude?" I don't know.
Apparently, asked him for his autograph, and the guy said no. Is that true? Like, that's actually hilarious if it's true.
I have no idea. I've honestly no idea.
How funny is that if it's true? He's like, "No, I know, Conor. I don't want to give you an autograph." No, that's funny.
Maybe MGK said like, "No, I rather have." Or when he has an autograph, maybe he said, "Maybe if you were Khabib, I would do it, but not you."
Yeah, no doubt. Let me get these comments. Kevin said, every belt currently booked except 125 men, 145 women, 185 heavyweight. How many new champs we gained from those 8? For all the title fights right now, that's a good question, Kevin. Like, I'd have to look at the list of it right now. But off the top of my head, I mean, I'd say it's gonna at least a few belts change hands. That's the thing. Like, probably all those fighters, or most of them, will be favored. You know, all those champions, right? I don't think they'll defend their belt. You know,
135. I think Peter Yan will be favored.
Peter Yan is that's a good point. I mean, he is favored right now. Jan, you know, he's the favorite. Jan Blachowicz, I should say. I want to make sure they're on the same card again, right? They keep putting them on the same freaking card. Jan and Jan, they like that pairing. Let me just see a few more things that we can talk about really quick. Let's see here. Oh, we didn't mention this. Donald Trump was at the Triller Fight Club. Any thoughts on that, Marcel?
I found the interview afterwards very entertaining, man. So I don't really mind.
He's gonna. You know what? Like, honestly, like I think he's gonna be good on TV. I mean, he's already been on TV with The Apprentice, right? He's a celebrity. He's good on TV. You know. I thought the commentary was funny and stuff. You know, Marcel. Like also. Masvidal, you know what I mean, Marcel? Like he talked to him and stuff. So I don't know, it was cool. We got this comment. Kevin said Poirier's favorite too, right? He is. Yeah, that's a good call too. Yeah. So that's another one. Yeah. Thoughts on Khabib and Aldo's comments towards each other. It's just weird. Weird that Khabib, I think, went after Aldo a little bit. Now BJ Penn's kind of come back to defend everything.
Super unnecessary.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. Anyways, all right, Marcel, I just wanted to do half an hour with you today, guys. So I appreciate it. Marcel, and thanks everyone for tuning in for the birthday wishes. Marcel, let's get out of here, man.
Yeah, for sure, man. yeah, you can find me, Marcel24 on Twitter, Instagram, and MMADNA.nl, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and Facebook. And lately I'm doing some Q&A on Sundays on my Instagram, which is fun, and I saw many people like it, so I'll probably gonna go through with it.
Cool. You guys can follow me on Twitter at MMADaMartin Podcast, MMAOddsmaker.com. It's on our YouTube channel. It's available on iTunes, Spotify, all those places. You also find my work at pjpen.com, MyMMAnews.com, Elite Fantasy, and Elite Sports Betting. And tomorrow we're going to be here at 4 p.m. Eastern. Again, Marcel, previewing UFC Vegas 37, 15 fights. So be here for sure. 4 p.m. Be here, be square. 4 p.m. guys, Eastern. And I'll see you guys tomorrow. Peace.